Good morning and welcome back to beautiful Altenstein. Here we are. It's 10 to 8 in the morning, near enough. We have here the HW80 2 potato harvester, which we've rented for about $790 today. And we're going to let the doits do the honours, or at least have a go with the potato harvest. The Lidner did have a little try on another map, and he has a little bit of trouble. Now, this thing is best just to let a worker go. As you've seen from when we harvested the small field here, and maybe you've seen it in Sosnovka, this has an invisible grain tank that is now full. So we need to dismiss the worker. Let me put the help menu back on for you, and for me of course. We'll unload here hopefully. No, we won't. Sometimes we need to back up a bit. Sometimes it can be very, very fussy. Unload here. There you go. He's unloaded. We're just going to get the worker going again, and hopefully he's not leaving it in a nice neat line of potatoes. That's okay. This is where this can be a little bit odd, this machine. Right. Dismiss the worker. It won't let me unload here. It also won't let me back up. There you go. Unload here. Employ a worker. There you go. Now hopefully he's going to be okay. Who have we got today? Tom. Looks like he's been out all night, to be fair, but as long as he does a good job, I'm really not bothered about his social life. Now, there we go. We're literally going to leave Tom to it. He should now just get on and do this whole field. The spacing you get when you're harvesting with a worker on this machine isn't the best. As you can see there, we're doing sort of one row instead of, we could maybe even do two or three. But just leave him be, really. Come back when he's done, and then we'll think about how to pick them up, shall we? Right, we're going to jump in the Massey and head back down to the farm. Now, what we did yesterday evening was we picked up all the grass. We put 50 odd thousand litres up by the BJ in that bunker. We put about another 25,000 litres down by the bale shed where we've been doing the mixing of the animal food, just to make sure we got a good supply down there. And we've done one job for Simon this morning. We harvested field 7 for him, so it didn't wither like it did before. We got a few thousand out of him for that, and we then did actually give it a quick fertilise too. Right, we just had to do a quick scoot around the farm to find the fertiliser spreader, but we found it while we're here. We're going to wrap. Are we going to wrap this silo? Put that help window back on. That's got 27,000 in it. You know what, we're not. We've got, I think, about 15,000 in here, which is enough for 4 or 5 more buckets the way we're mixing them. We also haven't wrapped the main silo. Simply because I'm going to double it up, maybe do the selling every other day. We'll keep a little eye on what the price does as well. I'm just going to top this guy up before we head over to field 2, where the harvester is probably about done. So let's just leave him filling. He's missed his traditional 2 areas, so we should take care of them for him. And we've got both tippers over here. One I'm hoping will take enough to keep this guy going for another field or 2. The small tipper, which is actually 6,000 litre capacity. I think once I may have told you it was 8. I do apologise. Wishful thinking on my part. Just take off this last bit, waste not, want not, etc. In fact, we carry on straight to the next field, I think. He won't even stop to empty off just yet. Oh, sorry. Can we get through here? Big tree in the way. There is a big tree in the way. Oh well. Pull this guy around here. Have a little look on how we're getting on with the potatoes. Oh, quite nicely by the look of it. Let's have a look. Oh, he's left a nice safety margin up by the road. The students do err on the side of caution. That's what they're briefed to do, so we won't hold that against him too badly. Let's bring the jolly old Massey down. These engines seem to switch off a lot more than they used to, considering I've got manual stop start off. I guess it saves me a bit of petrol. In seasons, obviously, the longer you leave them sitting around with the engine, the more it ticks through the maintenance time, which can cost you money and or cause you problems. As you can see, we have the woodland equipment ready. We are going to try and thin these out. Actually, before we set this guy going, let's just go to the external view. Well, we can't really see it very well from here. Let's just get this guy going. I quite like what we got going with the woodland. And in a real sense, I mean, as I've mentioned on Sosnovka, I don't know about here, I did look after quite a big area of woodland when I managed or ran an airsoft site. And I can tell you that woodland is so overgrown, it wouldn't be in a very good state at all. It's the pines actually. In terms of the game, it's the pines because the foliage goes right down to the ground. And that on top of the just complete congestion in that woodland would mean that there'd be a lot of sick stuff going on in that shade. A lot of fungus, a lot of rotting trees. It would not be very healthy, and it runs along the side of the road. In fact, there's a river, wet ground running down there too. So apart from the fact we get to make things look prettier here and make some money while we're doing it, of course. In real life, yeah, this would actually be a job that would need doing. I'd certainly do it if this was my land. Oh, that was clumsy. Quite good enough. Right. We can just leave you here for a minute, because this is a chap we need to get going. The fields in terms of growth cycles are a little bit split up again, but that's okay, we can rectify that today, especially now that we've got the extra vehicle in the Massey 200C tracked tractor. Ooh. To make sure we can keep things going whilst doing odd jobs around the place. Right, potato harvest is ongoing. We'll get some tree chopping done, shall we? In fact, our first little job today is going to be to take out some of these big pines from along here. Just to let a bit of light and a little bit of air get through here. So this is one here. Try and get a reasonably straight cut across there. Hopefully missing all of our equipment. Oops, we're on the field. That's okay, we'll get this tidied up quickly so the field work can progress. One. Might not be the tallest trees, but I think we'll just alternate along here. Take out half of them from this edge and miss the Massey. That's the plan. Oh, that's an awful cut. That would have cost us money. If I'd cut this tree at that angle and left it, I quite often trim them flat. I will demonstrate at the sell point. I'm not insane. I'll leave a nice jagged cut on the end of one of these. And then we'll see how that compares to the same length of wood with a nice straight cut across it. Right, next one. yeah, I think we're on the right track. We're just taking 50% of these down. While I was wandering around the farm this morning looking at things, wouldn't the Wopster be a handy thing to have in all games? It really would. For those of you that don't know, the Wopster's a tool you get in seasons which can tell you the growth state of crops, it can tell you what's planted, it can tell you how fertilised it is. A lot of that information you could get from the map, but it's quite handy to have that gadget. Its most useful thing in some respects is the fact that it will tell you how much fertiliser or seed or pig food is in a bag without you needing to go and get a front loader. Although, as we saw in the case of the seed bags, if you don't pick them up quite right, it's not going to tell you anyway. Ooh, a bit of stunt forestry here. Right. Get back to that. Ooh, where's the tree gone? There he is. Oh, that's okay. I'm a pro. Well, these two are almost touching. Look, right, yeah, I definitely going to get one of them. Don't want it to go that way. We want one of these to go that way. I don't actually think it naturally, trees, certainly pine trees, would even grow like this. One of them would have beaten the other to the sunlight at some stage, I'm sure, and left the other one to die. Right, that's them all trimmed. I better get this tidied up, and I reckon that'll time up quite nicely with the completion of the potato. Right, the potato harvest is done. It only took about 40 minutes. As you can see at the top of the field here, I did manage, the worker stayed away from the road as advised. I did manage to manually get it laying the potatoes out behind me, but I could not explain how. I couldn't catch it with the recorder. It was having a moment. We got to pick them up now. Now we could use a bucket, but this is by far the best tool to do this with. The issue we've got here is we haven't got a single machine on the farm that can front mount, which is where you would normally expect the snow blower to go, but no worries. If I've done my calculations correctly, oh my word, what's going on there? We're not enjoying having that hitched at all, are we? Is that because I've got the front weight? Matter if I lower the front weight, will you hitch more nicely? No, we're gonna drop the trailer. We're gonna drop the front weight. We're gonna try to drop the front weight. Let's get pointed the direction we want to go in first, shall we? So roughly over here. Drop that front weight. He's causing us issues. That's better. Now, can we drive around here? You can see where I'm going with this, guys. Right. Pipe out. Lower. Switch on. Can I remember to drive backwards? Now let's see how much we get. I'm really bad at guessing such things. Hopeless at guess the weight of the cake at the summer fete. So in one run we're up to just over 5,000. Steering backwards is a little bit odd, isn't it? It's all working. You get free? No. Right, let's gauge roughly how much field fills the wagon. 18,000. There we are. Turn him off and lift him and fold him up. In fact, we can drop him here. We don't need him. We can... Right, what are we going to do? So we've probably got about another 1, 2, 2.5 to come out. What we're going to do now is just put all these into storage. We can, on this map, put the potatoes into the silo. We're going to do that. See how much we've got. I think we've got about 14,000 in there anyway. And then we'll plan things logistically from there. And let the rest of the guys get on with the field process. And then we can, whilst ploughing, tidy this up. Now, because we now own this whole packet of land around here, we're allowed to take out the pathway because nobody else needs access. So yeah, we'll have a look at that. I'm going to get these picked up, get them put in the silo, and then we'll look to planning out this area field wise. Right, well, we finished picking up the potatoes. We got 3 full trailers, 54,000, and this at 63,000 litres of potatoes, which isn't bad at all. First of all, before I forget, and they're in the way, let's return the harvester, which is only 0.4 of an hour. And let's return the snowblower. Very, very versatile machine. Now, as you can see, we have quickly ploughed out the bits to join this up into basically one big field, which I think we're going to harvest lengthways. All we've had to do is take out 2 or 3 rows to take out that path on one road, to be honest, and just boxed off a couple of areas to make turning around easier. Whether we bring the roller up here or not and tidy up some bits too remains to be seen. But anyway, let's get this back. We're going to put all of this back in the old silo. We're going to keep an eye on the price, which I think is on the up. And we've tidied up the wood just enough to let this be accessible or passable. We've got all day to come back. Now, because yesterday was a little bit dispersed due to extra activities and the lack of the Massey 200C during the morning, the fields we've done now, I don't think anything else is going to be ready to harvest till about midday, maybe even a little bit later. So that leaves us a bit of time to get those fields organised. I'm not going to start planting till later, and unfortunately the way the game runs, it runs on growth stages, which I think on fast, which I've got on, it means there's a growth stage about every 5 hours. Now there's no sort of in between, so if you've planted one field and finished 5 minutes before the growth stage changes, and then you start planting another field just after, even though in real time the gap between the 2 fields getting planted was probably half an hour, as far as the game's concerned they're going to grow 4 hours apart, and that's kind of what's caught me out too. So anyway, it's all manageable. Right, let's see what we've got, and let's check the prices. We've got potatoes, 80,000 potatoes, and 200 is a good price for potatoes, I think. We're going to keep an eye on that. If that keeps going up, this may be the day we sell them. Other prices of note: sunflowers is high, and we've got sunflowers to harvest, and we've got quite a lot of barley today too, and that's at a reasonable price, nothing fantastic. I have been keeping an eye on the bale prices, grass and hay, just to see if it's worth baling up and selling. It's money, but it's also time, and how to make the most money from your time, I think, is going to be an important thing for us to do in this playthrough. We're going to leave the trailer there so that Massey Ferguson 20 can take it back out to field 18 when that's ready to get harvested. We're going to take this guy back over, just check what's going on in these fields, just get them all sorted out, get this wood tidied up. In fact, that reminds me, we do have some bales to sell. I did bale a little bit last night and then I thought, well, why did I bother? But I did, going a little bit fast for the farmyard perhaps. Okay, Grandpa can't see. He doesn't get around much at the moment. Right, so we grabbed the low loader. I hope you can see the difference in the woods where we worked yesterday. A bit more air, a bit more space. You can actually see right through, quite nice. Certainly healthier anyway. We're going to leave the trailer up this end. We have no seeding to do. Now it does mean the harvest is probably going to start a little bit later, but these fields were ready at 7 AM. I really don't mind if everything's ready at 10. Somewhere around there. Go and get the back weight. Although we can do most of that log work without one if we're gentle. It's certainly much safer with one. I'm also waiting for the grass to fully grow in the pasture that we ploughed out and seeded yesterday. Because the workers today, the Hats and the Lydner, can actually go and work over there today as hired staff, rather than me having to do the work in that field manually. So that's something I'm looking forward to being able to take advantage of. Right, where to start? Always start with the biggest ones, and the ones that taper go on top. That gives you the best base. Now, do you think if I practice enough at picking these up from inside the cab one day I'll be able to do it? I'm not really sure. See, I have no idea whether that's over the tree. I think it might be. It's not, look, it's over the back of the tree. Got him. And the other advantage of not having seeded the field is I don't have to feel bad about what I'm doing right now. So, all good. Right, get him on reasonably tidy. Next big one. That one there. Got it, yep. A little bit floppy in the jaws. But we can get him over, get him down. We'll get 2 or 3 on. Give them a little tidy up and then get the tension belts on. To keep our foundation nice and safe. This looks like a piece off the bottom of a tree. Excuse me. And my intention is, if we grind out the stumps, we will just do all that at once for the rental of the machine. We'll see. Don't necessarily need to take them out. Might be handy to leave them in, or you'll get things happen like happen in the woods around here where people steal a car, get it as deep into the woods as they can for a laugh, and when they get stuck they'll just torch it. So the stumps might dissuade such. Ooh, I'm going to zoom in. Can we reach him enough to drag him back? Not having the front weight on, which of course I dropped up at Pacific. Ooh. Goldcrest specific grain when I was putting on the snowblower. It might be an advantage. I can get a little bit closer to the trailer. So nurse this one back on with the front of the Massey, I think. There you go. Get this one out from behind us without bashing the trailer. That'd be good. Looks like a candidate for the bottom. Missed it. That time, right. Ooh, still a bit heavy. Keep it low. This guy on this side straight as we can. Open the jaws first and then lower him on. There you go, he's nice. I like him. Then we're gonna, this is where it's gonna go wrong. Or not. How many times have I knocked a tree off a trailer being overly fussy? I'm gonna try and just push this one along. To do as straight as possible or it's going to come off the trailer. Maybe I'm just too fussy, hey. Whoa, nearly got him with the jaws there. Right, let's give him a little bash over. There you go. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give him a friendly nudge with the jaws. Get him as centrally as possible. Want to push the wood, not the trailer. There you go. That's nice, right. We can find another bottom piece of tree, a nice thick regular one like we've got right in here. We've got a choice of two, I believe. We'll get that one. Get a good enough grip to at least get him out. Don't worry about the details in a minute. That'll do. I have got Farm Simulator 17 on my PC. It's a very, very recent addition, and to be honest, it was only because I got emailed a code. So I've had a quick look. I'm certainly not going to replace playing on the console with playing on the PC, either with this game or the next version. But I have been quite impressed, obviously, with the fact that there's production maps and stuff on the PC that you just can't get. Basically, you produce stuff in your fields or do forestry, and then you have a factory you take it to and turn that into wooden pallets and pallets of crop. And quite an interesting way of playing the game maybe, but I haven't got the time to do it very much. I did also get invited into a multiplayer thing that was going on in the Discord group that I'm in, but I kind of politely declined, A, because just the whole thing was a little bit daunting, and B, because I'm here on Xbox with you guys for now. Well, not for now, as I've just said, for good. But yeah, and the mods, just I looked for maybe 2 hours through the mods, and seriously, just a number of maps. I'd never settle down and get on and play anything. It was like too much choice. Right, we want you, Mr. Wobble. Right there, and then there you go. Drop down. Ooh, crikey, I nearly shoved the whole lot off then, didn't I? Time for a cargo strap, if ever there was one. Right, I'm going to get on and get the scraps on here. Let's just have a look around the corner. Oh no, Mr. Massey, time for your break to end. And yeah, this is gonna be almost a respectably sized field. Probably going to change how we work over here a little bit, and it's one of the reasons why I think we need to invest some money on this side of the map. Yes, definitely. What I'm also wondering is, this is quite deep in here. When we come to do the forestry on this side, these are actually, I figured out what these are. They're buried trees. They're buried in the map, some of these, what look like bushes. Because somebody was saying that they cut it down as well as they could, but just couldn't get that land to like cultivate and plough. And it's because there's a tree stump sort of hidden underground, which is very problematic to get rid of. Or the rest of the tree, in fact, not even a stump. So yeah, these are just, ooh. Wouldn't want to have to walk through here. Imagine the number of spider webs you're getting in your face in here. Not too bad over here. Anyway, we need to go and see Grandpa. I'll meet you over there. Okay, we've got our second load of wood. And as you can see, I've been a bit lucky with the packing, because that one, if it had been to either side, would have caused problems, and trying to move a log once you put others around it is a nightmare. Anyway, I've had our little catch up with Grandpa, and he has told us to go and, well, he said we need a bit more cash today, clear some more forest, so I did. He's had a chat with the guys up at Goldcrest Pacific Grain, and they've agreed to help us out, and there's some money in it for them anyway, to install a manure buy point at the far end of the farm, up near their depot, so that we could buy manure from them to use on that end of the farm. So once we've sold this wood, we shall look at doing that. And I think we got 12,000 for the last batch. Lovely. Alright, ramped up before we can possibly forget. Okay, so yes, we need one of these manure shops, $8,500. Very handy, actually quite a bit cheaper. I think the slurry sell point was 15,000. Yes, so half the price. And manure is cheaper to buy than slurry. Now, I'm actually deliberately staying in this view because it's kind of a good way for you to see the map, and with it being such a small map, we can give you a little bit of a tour. Now you can see, you get a nice view of what we're doing up here. On field 4, as I was talking about earlier with growth stages, as you can see, there's no way there was a significant gap between us planting those 2 rows and the rest of the field, yet as far as the game's concerned, they're about 4 or 5 hours apart. So we just kind of saddled with that. Corn here, corn here, corn down here to chaff today. Barley and sunflowers. Don't the sunflowers are beautiful from up here. There's the happy cows. We may get a bit of frame drop as we run through here, maybe not. The pigs, they're all looking good. You can see how nicely the forest is coming along. We thinned out a little bit here, working our way in. It's a start, still much more to do. And Goldcrest Pacific have been so kind, they've actually agreed to install this down here for us, so it's a little bit handier for us, even though they got to send the truck a little bit further from the main depot. So there we are. We're going to place it there. There he is. And now, of course, we're going to need something to spread the manure with. And here we are. So we got, I think, our options really. There is the Krone Optimat, which is from the Farming Classics pack. It's tiny capacity. It might be something we get later as a bit of a luxury to fill in here and there. But Grandpa, as I said, I've talked to him about practicality and the mission we are on here. Pöttinger twists, they're a possibility. I think actually it'd be interesting. Let's get the Farm Tech, because it's 8,000 litre capacity, exactly the same as the slurry spreader. We'll kind of get a feel for the comparative use. Yeah, let's do that. So yes, we're going to buy ourselves one of those. We may fetch our purchase at the store. Not quite Deutz, but it's very close. But we're actually going to stick with the Massey. And we've basically spent the morning with the Massey, haven't we? Which is quite nice. It's definitely the odd job tractor. 23.5 hours on so far. The next closest is going to be the Deutz. 20.5. For all his slurry duties. But anyway, let's take this guy over for now. He will get us there a little quicker. He's the fastest tractor we've got. Although the Massey 200C, as I say, a tracked tractor, not a crawler. I think that does 26 miles an hour as well. Seems a little bit scary fast around here sometimes. And technology-wise, there's no difference between these manure spreaders and the Farming Classics one. These are just a little bit bigger, therefore a little bit more practical. Excuse me. Like the cars on this map. Quite Sosnovkan, but they remind me of like just 60s, 70s cars in a generic, nostalgic way. Harvesters over here. Still not expecting these fields to be ready to harvest for maybe 2 or 3 more hours yet, unfortunately. But that's fine. There's our little seed stash up here. Which way should we go? No, we don't want to cut through the woods yet. Oh, I'd love one of those trucks. Dogface, thank you. We'll head up to the sell point. We'll rescue the front weight as well if we can, while I remember. Where did I drop that? That was around behind here, wasn't it? When I was... Oh, no, watch out for the bush trap. Can we see it? No, we can't. There it is. Been knocked over. We're skirting around the glass wall of the map. In fact, there he is. I knew we were getting a little bit tight there. Right. Right. We're ready for you. There we are, flipped over. And this is a great tractor, obviously. It does everything we've needed it to. The tracked version is a nice option. We keep these flowers along here, even though we ploughed it out. I don't really mind. I know some people find that quite annoying. Same thing's happened up the top of the farm as well, where we've extended the fields. Now here we are at the sell point. It looks visually, it's a little bit kind of bland. I don't know, plain. I don't know. But as you can see, it's killed the grass around it, which is fair enough. Now the other advantage of this is that unlike the bunkers that the animals fill, we can fill this. If I select the right one, straight from the fill point. So there we go. We are filling with manure. And obviously the plan is now we use the manure spreader and this sell point for this end of the farm. the liquid slurry and the tanker for the other end of the farm, it saves a lot of toing and throwing, because probably I'd say a fair proportion of the hours on that Deutz are actually driving back to the farm to refill the tanker. And I think really what, $20,000 odd we've had to invest in the sell point and the equipment. It will save us and be of value. Let's see. No idea what. Oh, we've got to unfold you. There we are. Did I tell you I'm a bit of a manure noob? It's not something I think to use very often actually. The sell point's quite a new mod, and I'm sure it's newer than the slurry sell point. Right, there we go, and I do like the manure. I love the texture on the field. I think we've got the width about right there. We're going to let one of the students get on with this. Edward, he's a good man. Right, we're going to call it an episode there. I'm going to get on before we see each other again. We're getting these fields ready to be planted. We'll harvest field 16, 18 and 13 and be back at the farm. My intention, perhaps with the assistance of some extra equipment, are we being nice and safe up by the road? Yes we are, well done, is to perhaps lease another seeder and basically try to seed the whole farm as simultaneously as possible. We've got the small hassier to use that too, and that's the plan. We're going to try and get this whole farm synchronized today. Even if we have to start a little bit later tomorrow, that will be fine. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Leave us a comment, leave us a like if you've liked it, and take care. Subscribe if you want to stay in touch, and for now, from Altenstein, goodbye.